Welcome to Warblog. Today I'm going to look at Kunduz City Operation Fath. It's not really Operation Fath, but they're calling their spring offensive Operation Fath. And so this is Operation Fath and it's the Kunduz City assault. Maybe one thing that's worth bearing in mind is it's not the first time they've attacked Kunduz. I wonder if we search for it. It's so far back that it might actually even be not even in the system. There we go, we've got 3. Now this is Kunduz province. This is the Battle of Kunduz. Now I remember this one. So this is how I did Kunduz a long time ago, because they come in and take it, and then these units sort of come up here. I've probably even done a video on this. Yeah, look. So it's slightly interesting really to see. We've got the rivers. There's 2 rivers there. So there's the rivers there. At least 3. This is just such a better map. Scale. I mean, there's no features around here detailed. So we've got this. So from the town to that bridge is one. It's basically 2 hexes. Here, 1, 2. It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same scale. It's just this map is far superior. And I don't think it's because I got any better. It's just that's how it sort of goes. I think a lot of it is basically down to the source material, and basically there's a big difference between a Google map, which generally doesn't have a lot of information, and the other sort of map. I think it's Open Map or wherever I got this one from. I don't know where I got it from, because I think I got it from the there's a news site. I can't even remember what it's called. I'm not even going to bother trying to find it, but it's one of these sites that has all the maps with the news items put onto them. But the problem is that I have ad blocker on, and so basically it keeps sort of like saying you've got ad blocker on. You have to wait 5 seconds, and it's frustrating. But the Open Map, is just better, and you can see the difference there between that map, which just looks almost stupid, and this map, which I really like. I just like that. Anyway, I'm going to play this. I'm in a more relaxed mood, so I'm just not really looking to. So I can't scroll any much further. I'm on my other computer at the moment. Taliban. Well, they fail, so I don't know what we can make of that. We've got some rockets. We've got 4 range. So I think the thing to sort of perhaps let's get the drawing tool out, because I'm in a drawing tool sort of mood. I don't know, you can tell what sort of mood I'm in. It's not the sort of mood that makes any sense. So we've got 4 points of approach, and I do like this map. It's interesting actually that it compares so disfavourably with this one. Back. What's this? This is Kunduz province. So I don't think we've got Kunduz in there. Yeah. But the thing is, this river is a major feature, so there's no crossing points other than that bridge. So any assault along this flank, any assault along here, has to be for the bridge. Now, the one thing that sort of is interesting about this is that we've got rockets Now that makes it similarly defendable, so we can sort of contain that hex, and we'll probably sit there with these rockets, you know, with impunity, because they're not. Oh no, well, sorry, I'm sort of. You can tell what mood I'm in. This is the uncrossable river there, so that is sort of uncrossable. But we're already on the right side here, and here we can come up through. So we can either come this way, which is probably not an attractive option. We can come this way. Here, what I'm trying to sort of just so we can go. For example, we could go here, and we could cross this river. You know, we can cross the river. But the thing is, you still got to fight over the river, so that is still an issue. So, starting to do the creative thinking again. This is an obvious route for these people down here, and they do actually hold some of these places already. It's strange. So we can push a front there. Now, I think we've got to avoid the airport because there's things in there and they're fortified, so I don't think we're really going to have much luck there, but they do have artillery. So the thing is, do we want to sort of like ignore the artillery because it's going to be firing continuously? You know, so I mean the thing, and I think another thing is to sort of consider is how fast we can move. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might be able to get across that bridge in the first hit, so that's another consideration to bear in mind. So much so that I'm going to try a little bit of movement first. Okay, so this is irregular 116. This is irregular 226. So let's just move this one first. Okay, so that's a 0.6. So basically we can move 10 along roads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that changes a lot of my thinking because we now no longer have to compete for that bridge. We can take it. We can get across this. So I'm going to do this. Let's get a red pen. Do this and go across and take that. So we can compete there. We can easily get to that hex and compete there. So that's 2 fronts. Now here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can get across there. We've got extended mobility really, considering that an infantry unit in desert can move 1. I was thinking just the other day actually I want to refine the movement so that it really penalises anything that doesn't move along roads, because I want to focus more on putting roads in, you know, as a sort of a dimension in the strategic sort of orientation of the game. You know, so sort of, you know, thinking roads as opposed to just sort of trundling across anything. So if you do go cross country, it's going to be expensive. Doesn't mean it's not going to be possible. But anyway, so there's those 3 fronts. So here it's slightly different. Now this looks quite isolated, this artillery on its own, and it's a central position. So we're trying to take Kunduz. So we don't necessarily want to fight across the river against these, but I think this artillery target, and I'm a bit far from the screen, but I think it's on its own. Now I'm not sure whether we can get to that hex, but basically if we can come down this track here and go there, we might be able to compete across there. So that's going to be my strategy. So we're going to take up at least this unit. We're going to contend that unit and this unit, giving him 1, 2, 3, 4 units that will not be in direct contact. It doesn't mean that they're sort of, these are stuck or these can move anywhere they want, but they're probably going to have to, something's going to have to fall back on this artillery if they've still got it. the objective that is the objective hex, so they're going to have probably drop something back. They're probably going to have to drop all this back here. I think they're probably going to move this mechanized unit onto there. Oops, you can't even see that one. It's a stupid colour. Leaving 2 units there. So he's really only got, this is not much of a unit, so he's only got 1 motorized unit. So that shouldn't be, this should leave us in a fairly good position. It should be a walkover really, other than the reinforcements. So I'm not going to double up on that front because I don't want to present an easy target. Is it going to be better going there? I'm going to go along a road. Look at that. Okay. I'm just thinking, probably worth trying to protect these rockets. Although it's quite unlikely, there's a possibility that this unit could sort of just come straight across this river and take out this rocket unit. How far can they move? So that's, they're only going to be able to move another hex. I think we have to risk it and leave him there on his own, because I really want to get there. It's just artillery. So do we want to pound that? Possibly. Let's go for this. I feel that these rockets are not going to do any damage no matter what I use them against, but I feel that I want to use them against something to sort of give me an edge, either against this artillery unit or against that. I should be able to beat this, and this. In fact, I should do this attack here, and I really want to give myself an edge on that, because the multipliers are going to be significant if I can get some damage. I mean, that's just the opposite of significant, isn't it? Okay, well, we're going to try this heroic river assault into the heart of Kunduz. They weren't expecting that, were they? Unfortunately, we don't have enough movement to get in there. And that was interesting. Got the opportunity, we've got an option here, an opportunity to dislodge this unit, and for this other unit then to follow through. I'm going to try that, but we don't want him. Now, if we beat him back and he retreats, he can't retreat there because this is under control. He can't retreat there because this is under control. So he'll have to retreat there, which is fine. So I'm going to try this with this one unit here. I wonder why they're not blanked out, because they've got zeros. So, oops, only one of them. Now he should be worth, it should be about a 4-to-1. I'm guessing wildly, but oh my god, he won! That was like, that was like no medals here, but but you were lucky to survive. So that means that he can now go, and that's just as bad, isn't it? Really, because now he's going to sit there as a one unit surrounded by Afghan units. I wonder why. I don't know. Okay, well, why was that a 1-to-1? Irregulars, yep. Irregulars, yep. That doesn't actually make any sense. A 2-to-1. Oh no, that does sort of make sense. That's 10, so we'll. Yeah, that does make sense. I understand what's happened now. They're because he's got a 2. I sort of thought that would be a slightly bigger factor, but it doesn't matter. I could have used the 1 or the 2. They both went up to 5. So there's one unit at regular. He's a 1-1, but he's gone up to 5. The 2, the benefit of the 2 means if I'm getting something larger, at least I've got some. I'm better able to do larger things. But he still went up to 5. So 5 and 5. Well, that's 1 and a 2. It goes up to 5 and up to 5, so it's 10. But he was defended as 1, but he also had mechanized versus soft skin as a bonus, presumably. But that was an exchange. We didn't need that. I wonder why they're not going sort of a funny colour when. I wonder what's changed. It's going to be a 2-to-1, 1-to-1, and then exchange. So this is quite a peculiar game, really, because he's defending on a 2. I thought these irregular units would be a lot more powerful. Well, that's that really. And he's used up. Why are they not showing? Why? Okay, well, what we can do. He's not got any movement. We can possibly try and attack this artillery unit again with the remnants of our movement. 3-to-1 and then exchange. It would have been nice to sort of truly get rid of that. Well, that's that. I think that's quite interesting, actually. I'm going to just pause a little bit on that. And the reason I think it's interesting is because we had a plan, and the result of the plan, we are stuck on that line. We're stuck on that line, but we sort of pummeled through into Kunduz like that, and so we've now sort of divided the city. But I think it's very sort of very temporary. So I think that sort of that whole sort of plan went through quite well, but it could have been better. We could have won there, and we could have won there. I think we just were lucky here. Right. Without fail, I've just got to get on to this next. So they're going to just push these out. So the Afghans are really thinking, we've got so much stuff. Or do they? They're up against the same problems. I mean, these are only 1-1s. We've got a big hitter there and a big hitter there, but everything else is just rubbish. Now, they sort of probably want to protect their artillery in some way, so the best way to do that, we just stack it up with something. Perhaps in that stack there. Because that's a nice strong stack. Well, before I sort of commit that, do I want to see if I leave him there, he'll be able to recover and I can move these from there to there. Although if I move them from there to there, they'll be less likely to attack. We sort of want to push back into there, I think. So what's that under there? Dense. So they're going to be worth 3. So that's going to be a 1-to-1. Possibly a 2-to-1 with the surround. We can get the artillery in there. So the question is, what do we want to do with this mechanized unit? We can leave him there or pull him back. I think considering that this assault is coming through from here, we could probably push some of these back. I don't know, there's just not enough to really do that. I think the first thing that we've got to do is to get this unit out. And that's going to take everything, including committing this artillery. Do we want to pull this unit back into there to support? I think I will. What I'm going to do is this. Artillery first. 0.1. It's not a paintball competition. Right. 3-to-1. 4-to-1. And an exchange. Well, they've converted. I wonder why these weren't. Maybe it was something to do with the turn order, but look at that. That was just, I think it demonstrates how difficult it is. I think it's a very well balanced game. Lots of little units that can't hit each other. Yeah, that's sort of, that should have gone in their favour. So that's sort of like a spectacular failure, giving the Taliban the sort of the opportunity now. You know, there's nothing we can do now. We can't sort of say, oh, now we'll just pull him back in here and do an attack, or pull him back in and do an attack. You know, neither of these units are big enough. That was everything against one, and they should have won. I mean, it's a 4-1, wasn't it? And they got a 12, and as a result, fate has gone against them. That is the fate. The fate for us, fate, isn't it? It's one of those things. I like to sort of, I do like to dwell on that those sort of the implications, and thinking, well, what does that mean? Because so many other games, they just go so quickly, and you sort of you miss the significance of any variance on results. If you're doing like 10 attacks a minute or something, there's no sense of savouring any particular attack. I shouldn't complain too much, but that was spectacular. That was sort of, that was headline news. I'm just sitting there thinking, well, is there anything else that can be done? I still don't want to really commit this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could fire some artillery onto that. There's 2 lots of artillery in there. Oh no, there's not. 0.7, they're doing quite well. So he's ruining the day he got out of bed. Okay, that's it. Okay, well, reinforce. That's the thing about this, you see. One thing that I like about these sorts of situations, you think, well, because this is strategy, in theory he's quite vulnerable, and of course he's quite vulnerable, we can see that, but the thing is, and this is a strategic sort of implication, they don't have the resources to sort of exploit that vulnerability and to do everything else that they were going to do in here. He had to commit himself to attacking that, and it was in the light of a greater priority that we could anticipate, that we were able to sort of leave this in a relatively exposed position with a relative degree of safety. And I think that's an important thing to sort of understand. You don't necessarily always have to be in a safe position if you can consider that your opponents are going to be pinned down and unable to actually come and smack you in the face. I think that's interesting. So what to do? I think we really want to be sort of hitting that. There at depressions 1, depressions 1. Depression 1, depression 3, but the thing is, that's 2, that's 4, that's a big stack. Now, because of what they did, they're probably going to lose that artillery. Now, this is a weak hex, it's only worth 1. He's not depressed. He's depressed 1. I'm going to fire some rockets on him. 0.4. I'm beginning to think that the inverse of this is that. I think that's what's happening. If you probably look at it carefully under a microscope, you'll probably realise that the shades are slightly different. Because it's black, it's not. Because it inverts, sort of, it does an alpha invert. which is not. It's just all strange. It's all CSS, HTML stuff. Okay, I'm feeling safe in there now. Taken Kunduz, reinforced it, but we can't really maximise too much. But I wouldn't mind taking out that artillery out. Now the question is, do I do lots of little attacks and potentially wipe it out, or one big attack, probably do about the same damage, but be a little more certain? Because I wouldn't mind attacking some of these other units as well. So there's going to be at least 3 attacks. I can probably do more, but if I go in there, he's already depressed, so I think I'm going to do that. He's at 3.1, which means he's at 0.7. So if I go at 5, that'll be probably a 5-to-1. Factoring in the fact that he's in light urban. It's probably 4-to-1s. So if I use this guy first. Oh no, they've crossed the river. Okay, well, that changes things. 3-to-1 DR. And he went into there. Well, as a result of that, I'm going to change my strategy here a bit. Ouch! That's because he was... I didn't get my bonus. I can never remember how that works. I have to make... He retreated there and they retreated there. The Taliban have had a really... not a good turn. Okay, let's see where we can win here. Let's just throw caution to the wind. 1-to-1 though. What's under there? Desert. Probably better off moving into there. And that will be that, because I don't want to attack that. 3. No, I don't want to attack that. Okay. Well, the Afghans have had a bit of an upturn there. Probably best holding in on these fronts. They want to keep that artillery at least with that unit. But the thing is, that's going to be a really difficult hex to attack. I think they're going to have no choice but to pull these units back there, to push this unit there, and that unit there, giving everything they've got, firing the artillery first, and then just everything. 2-to-1 maybe? 1-to-1. I mean, it's the battle now. .45. Okay, so the Taliban. We want to get him out of there. No effect. Huh. 6-1. 2 eliminated. Now this could be dangerous. They're worth 4, but are they? Are they going to be worth more than 5? And are we going to get nothing out of this? If only I knew how the maths worked. Because if we get our 5s, that'd be 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 versus whatever. If we don't, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus whatever. Yeah, we got our 5s and push them back with a DR. Pushing them back into there. Oh no, push them back into there. But now they're worth 7, which means you can't attack them. Do I try and attack this stack here? Why not? How can a 3 result in more than 5? 2 to 1, and an exchange. Okay. Okay, let's cheat a little and have a look at the reinforcement schedule. Oh, look. I shouldn't have cheated. I feel bad now. They get their helicopters, but they don't get any reinforcements at all. There's no reinforcements. They shouldn't say M2. What's that? That's interesting. There's no reinforcements. I thought there were reinforcements. Hmm. Are we in range? No. Can we attack that? No. Well, it might not be as big a no as we think. It could be still on the 1-to-1 side, 1-to-2, and exchange. They were lucky, but the counterattacks are pretty much out of the window now. Taliban. Well, they can't go against that. I don't want to go around near this artillery anymore. Can probably help finish this mechanized unit off. Let's use this out of range. Through there, should be able to do that. Huh, that was nice. We can keep that up. Well, then we will recover. Okay, well that's their big baseball bat, and I think we're about to make sawdust of it. DE, where did he go? Oh, if I have to, I'll attack these rockets. You're not coming back. That's too big to attack. So now we've got these two stacks that are just too big. Got half a Kunduz. Let's just pause. And I think it's safe to say that we've got the entirety of Kunduz there, with the exception of this little outlier there. Okay. Attack helicopters. I wonder if I did the Taliban move. I can't remember now. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay, well, this is what I anticipated as being the thing that would turn it around in favour of the Afghans, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Well, we've done some damage. We can bring him back down here. Attacker retreats. He didn't retreat anywhere because he was going across the river. Oh no, yeah, when an attacker retreats, I don't actually retreat. It just means I didn't win. I wonder the difference between that is and a no, they do, don't they? We did an attack and retreat there, and did they all just jump around? I'm pretty sure that they didn't do anything. That's stupid. This is really tight. So much so we could maybe possibly consider an attack. The thing is, it's still going to be worth too much. They'd be worth 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 7. Well, they're 9.4. Let's see if we can attack them across the river. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. 44 minutes. I think the Afghans did win this. They pushed the the Taliban back. And I think they just need a couple more units in there. I think they were lucky to get the sort of breakthrough that they did in the early stages across this river. You know, and they were actually, the Taliban, having a hard time attacking into there and into there, and it was just that one hex that, you know, I mean, it was vulnerable from the start because it had artillery in it, only artillery, and the Afghan player didn't have the opportunity to sort of, you know, rearrange anything before that attack came in. The only thing that they didn't have, so to speak, was they didn't have the opportunity to exploit, but they could have. I mean, we could do that again, and, you know, we could have just attacked with one unit and then moved in with the other one, possibly. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.